Hey fire signs, welcome back to my channel. This is Jen with Lighthouse Oracle, and this week I'm doing things a little bit differently. Today is still going to be the energy forecast for the week, talking about the incoming energies and the advice, but this will be for all of the fire signs, and throughout the week I will be doing energy check-ins for individual signs. I did a little bit of digging, some research, and I found that certain days correspond with certain elements, so that's how I will be posting the check-ins. So Monday is for water signs, Tuesday for fire signs, Wednesday for air signs, and then earth signs are on Thursday. So stay tuned for that. And the format is going to be the same. However, for today, I'm going to start with the tarot cards to give me an overview of what the incoming week looks like, and then we're going to get the advice from the oracle cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with what does the incoming week look like for fire signs. This is going to be for the week of the 11th through the 17th, or if you're watching is the day that I post, then you know, the 10th, today, the 10th. Yes, but let's see, what does the week look like for fire signs? This is for Aries, Leo, and Sagittariuses. If you have fire signs in your prominent placements on your chart, moon, sun, or rising. I almost forgot for a second there what I was saying. So let's see. Incoming energies for the upcoming week. Ooh, okay. Anything else? Oh, that one definitely wanted to come out, so we're just gonna take that. Anything else? Nope. Okay, we're gonna just take these. Thank you, thank you. I've seen readers on like some social media platforms, and they're so aggressive with their shuffling. I almost feel bad for the cards. You know, I'm I guess I'm just like, I'm sorry if like if I bang on it too much, I get like hurt. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to hurt you, because I've seen like just such aggressive shuffling. I don't know, first of all, I don't know how they do that, but also, yes. Small tangent there, but a couple cards dropped, so, but I'm not going to include that because we've already concluded. But this is what we're getting. So let's take a look. Fire signs. So we have the Seven of Wands, the Sun, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse, and then we have the Page of Cups in reverse. So let's look at this. I feel like for this week, fire signs, we are going inward this week. We're going inward to our I feel like this week we're staying true to our authenticity. With the Seven of Wands, I see usually this card represents like defensiveness, protection against competition, and I see that here with this card as well, but I see this more as like I'm gonna keep my peace and stay in my like bubble, while everything on the external, it's like I'm just gonna let y'all do your thing. I'm gonna stay in my peace type of an energy. And I didn't mention this in my previous readings because I just wasn't getting that, but I mean, have you looked at the news this week? Well, this past week, the world has gone a little, I mean, it's still going crazy, but especially if you've been keeping up with current events, I don't feel like it's a secret at all that there is a certain group that have entered a certain building without permission. I'm just gonna keep it there very vague because I'm not gonna talk about what I feel about it, because let's not see and I feel like that's exactly the energy that we are focusing on this coming week. Is like, I don't even want to deal, like, honestly, I'm not surprised it happened, but I'm not even going to integrate my energy into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay in my bubble. Everything outside of here, they're doing their thing. Like, good or bad, ugly, like, my energy's mine. Boundaries, right? I'm keeping my energetic boundaries and not letting all that seep through. And with the sun here, it's like strong, fiery sign. Like, it's literally like keeping to your own joy, like the things that make you happy, the things that make you feel bright and sunny. It's like, yes, out here it may be like all cloudy, like you see that there might be like all cloudy and stuff, and just like a lot of tension, a lot of darkness, but inside, in your heart, in your soul, you're dancing, you're doing your thing, you're living your best life. Like, no matter what's happening externally, inside it's this beautiful sunny energy, and I love that. With this Knight, especially with this Knight of Swords in reverse and this Page of Cups in reverse energies, I feel like we're not making any hasty moves. With this Knight of Swords upright, it may be like charging forward, spontaneous communication, or, you know, like getting ready to charge. And I see that here too with this, like he's got like a crossbow, getting ready to go on his motorcycle, and it's like, we're just gonna, in reverse, I'm like, nope, we're not gonna do that. We're not even gonna grab whatever, you know, we're not gonna engage, basically. And I feel that maybe coming in the coming week, there may be certain people that are kind of trying to come into your bubble, or certain energies that are trying to affect this. Because as much as you glow and you're bright and you are a light, it attracts both good and bad. So it also attracts, what does light attract? Moths, right? Moths attracted to the flame, and it's like, you know, we're keeping our boundaries because they come in too close. We gonna burn them, if that makes sense. But I'm also seeing this as kind of like a more tamed energy here. We're just not even gonna interact. We're not even gonna acknowledge. We're not gonna like grab our crossbows and go and fight. We're just keeping our peace. And then with this Page of Cups here, this Page of Cups is kind of representative of like a almost like a naive kind of an energy. And I'm noticing here it's like when pigs fly, and it's kind of like almost not, and there's like a heart here, and it's like the head in the clouds, kind of like upright. It's giving me like very like almost like a puppy love type of vibe. And it's kind of like that very sweet but naive love, right? And like for us, I feel like for fire signs, I feel like we're not gonna just let our emotions kind of like, I guess we're just seeing through the bullshit, and excuse my French, but we're just seeing through the BS and like, you know, noticing that not all things are rainbow and like sunshine and rainbows, and, you know, whatever this Page of Cups energy is in reverse, I'm kind of seeing it as like we're bringing it back to reality, you know. Talk is cheap, right? Like actions speak louder than words, like things like that. But I'm also seeing this more as in regards to all these external energies, right? You see all of these wands and they're all sorts of colors. And you see kind of one, it's like, oh, you know, maybe sweet talker, right? The sweet talker that's like, oh, you know, everything's gonna be amazing and it's so great. But then they're like, ideals are completely separate from yours. You're just not compatible. Things are just not working out. And it's that, you know, that naivety part of it that's like, oh, you know, it's gonna be amazing and everything's great. You know, everything's, especially if we're thinking about like current events and the way the world is, you know, especially in the spiritual community too, sometimes we get caught up in this ideal. It's all love and light, everything's amazing, you know, tomorrow's like a brand new day, and you know, today it's, you know, we're all love and light, which is, while it's a nice like affirmation to have, that's not reality, right? Reality is duality, and reality is a mixture of different perspectives and thoughts and ideas, and some may be good and some may be bad. Like, it's that balance, that yin and yang energy. Like the yin is like the dark, you know, that yin, like the hidden things, the more darker side of us that we tend to like shove down with like toxic positivity. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, up, you know, you notice you're getting taken advantage of and you're like, well, you know, well, I feel good helping them. But you notice like your energy is also getting drained and you're tired because someone is asking so much of you, but you're like, oh, well, you know, they're fine, and just making up excuses for their mistreatment of you. And that's where toxic positivity can come in. It's like not seeing reality and not seeing things as they are. And like I said, while it's good to have, you know, positive affirmations, like, yeah, tomorrow is a new day and tomorrow can bring change. But, you know, if we're constantly seeing situations through rose-colored glasses, it's hard to distinguish what is right for us and create these true boundaries, right? So this week, we're seeing through that shit. We're not letting this, we're not in this like, oh, light and love and everything's amazing and yeah. We're gonna stay in our peace. Like, maybe light and love inside, right? Everything outside is like burning and doing its thing. But we're keeping, and we recognize that, right? It's like, we recognize that I need, like, I'm trying not to cuss that much. I honestly cuss a lot, and in these videos, I try not to cuss that much. But we are just keeping our ish to ourselves, and we're staying in our peace, and we're staying in our, like, bubble. But we're not trying to force that on anybody else experiencing something completely different. I just hit this table. But you know what I'm saying? Like, as much, we're not letting outside influence us as much as we're not trying to force toxic positivity onto others either, because that's where compassion lies, right? Compassion is understanding that not everyone is on the same boat as us, and not everyone is experiencing the same light and love and is able to change our perspective to see things in a more light-hearted, sunny disposition, in a light-hearted way. And so, you know, this person, the light and love, can end up being incredibly irritating, because it's like, do you not see what is happening right now? Like, you know, yeah, like, it's just asking this week, The incoming energies is really just talking about recognizing that there is crap happening outside and it's not all rainbows and butterflies, but you're also not allowing that to hinder your inner peace as well. So let's look into the oracle cards and see what Spirit's advice for you is. This is just my perspective, my reading, my intuitive brain spewing out the information. So let's look into the oracle cards. And by the way, all of the decks that I use in this reading is down in the description box below if I don't mention it as I'm shuffling, which now that I've mentioned it, this is the Light Seers Tarot. And this deck is the Moonology. Is it Moonology Oracle? I think it's just Moonology deck, I think. Oh yeah, it's Moonology Oracle cards. So let's go ahead and see what Spirit's advice for this upcoming week is. Okay, we're just gonna take these. Okay, so we have, ooh, oh my god, intuition. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm a lot more hyper today. But okay, so this first one is the first quarter moon, and it says your commitment is being tested. So I'm saying this as definitely like, look at what is happening around you and staying, like, can you stay this way with all this going on? How can you not be affected by everything going on and simultaneously still hold compassion and understanding that these things are going on, right? And it's not just like pretending it doesn't exist and like talking to everyone as if it doesn't exist and as if it doesn't affect them either, you know? And also believe in the impossible, this blue moon. So I feel like it's like also believing that healing is possible. Sometimes we get to a point where we're so disconnected and so in the bubble that we become cynical of the external, right? We're like, oh, that's never gonna change, it's gonna burn. Like I said, like all these current events, I'm not that surprised. But at the same time, I'm also believing in the idea that change is possible and good change is possible, and that, you know, compassion and insight and believing that although I am protecting my boundaries, I'm not I guess it's like while I am focused in this bubble, the energy that I'm vibrating at while I'm in this state can also affect others. And in doing so, it's kind of like that ripple effect of change. And, you know, there's been those studies done, and I'm not sure, please do not quote me, I do not know for sure, but I've heard that there's been, you know, situations where there's been mass meditations, like global meditations done simultaneously, and it's done some, like, the vibration that the folks meditating were in such a healing vibration that it's made miracles happen, and that miracles are possible, and it's not impossible for good to come out of this. And it may feel, and that is the challenge, is like, are you committed to the growth? Are you committed to staying in your power, staying in this light, regardless of everything happening on the outside? It's a very big task to ask of, you know, a lot of folks, especially with everything going on. But if you're watching this, you got this. I mean, fire signs, yes. We're all about, you know, action and adventure, and we're very passionate, and we're very like fiery and go-getters and trailblazers, right? We are represented by the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like vitality and strength and resilience. And these are those times where our resiliency is being tested. So yeah, let's go into the last oracle cards to see what other advice Spirit has for you for this week. Let's see what other fire signs advice for fire signs for this incoming week. Oh, there it is. Wow. Ooh, tell me I didn't say. Okay. So it says courage. Let's go ahead and read it together. It says, divine courage is not the absence of fear, but a nudge that says, keep going, do it, don't worry, all will be well. You have to get quiet enough to hear it. Dear Divine, may I feel your courage and your will. I love this. I mean, oh my gosh, like, I mean, this is, I've said this before, you give a reading, you get a reading, and I'm like, whew, like, I feel so good. From this, like, yes, 100%. And I'm seeing all of these like little sunflowers, daisies, as like, look at this, like this is one giant like flower, and it's like, you know, we're all these little sparks of little energy balls, and we light up a room, and our energy affects change, and it affects our environment, and it can literally change the world. But it does take courage, right? And courage is needed and will be here, and you have courage. You inherently, I mean, it took a lot of courage for us to go through what we're going through as a collective, as a community, to recognize what is right and wrong. And, you know, it's become very apparent, you know, what right and wrong looks like. Action, right and wrong action looks like, you know, hurting people, deceiving people, being a negative energy. It takes so much courage to face that. And I've been seeing that, you know, throughout social media too, people speaking up, people, you know, not just going like, oh, well, you know, I'm not even gonna go there. Like, I don't, like, I'm not, and that goes to show too with this too, it takes courage to maintain boundaries. It takes courage to not let, and this has to go along too with not just like strangers, but with your families and your friends and people that you are in the same social circle with, in the same community with, maintaining your boundaries and having the courage to keep going despite of everything happening around you. I love this reading. Like, I'm getting like goosebumps from it. I'm feeling like so good and so like encouraged from this reading, and I hope you did too, fire signs. But let's look into some letters and see what the Spirit has lastly to say. This may be initials, this maybe has to do with like a person, it may not even have to do with just like current events, but maybe it has to do with, you know, people coming in with this, you know, false sense of like, oh, I'm gonna give you the world and everything's gonna be amazing, our relationship's gonna be great, and they're just lying. They're like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're seeing through people that are just all talk, you know. But let's all right. So we have the letter B, we have the letter N, we have the letter I, oops, yes, we have the letter, another I, a Y, and then a letter S. So I think this is upside down. Is this upside down? Yep, there we go. That seems right. I see the word bin, like trash bin. Like we leave in all this energy in the bin. Yeah, I feel like I'm not like seeing these like letters as oh my god, no, I am. Look at this. BS. We're saying no BS. We're not dealing with no BS over here. We're staying in our light. We're staying in our truth. We're having this courage. Yes, okay. Oh my gosh, and sin. Oh my god. Ooh. And then this is where like I'm controversial yet brave. Like what people describe as sin, right? What do having the courage to stand by your core values and your morals and using your moral compass to discern between what people have determined what is sin and what is like holy and what is, you know, the right thing to do, in spite of what people have told you, what tradition looks like and what was written in a certain book, which is, you know, I'm not saying religion is bad by any means, and in context, right? People take things out of context that fit their own narrative, that fit their own needs, and that may not make sense to you anymore and may not align with your true values of what it means to be a kind and compassionate human being. Bye, sin. But yes, I will go down a rabbit hole if I keep talking. But yes, thank you so much, fire signs, for watching. This is where I'm going to leave the reading. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if this reading resonated with you. This is a much more general reading as it applies to all fire signs, but be sure to stay tuned when I give the fire sign energy check-in on Tuesday, okay? And meanwhile, take care, stay in your energy, your boundaries, and I will see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye.